Welcome to the show, the Tulsa. People making a difference in the Tulsa community. Special guest interviews spotlighting local businesses to cover an important city. No one else is the hot topics and more. This is World One Development's news you can use. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show, hosted by Mr. Charles Harper and Ms. Damali Wilson.
You helped that, didn't you? Good afternoon and welcome everyone. Welcome to World One Development's News You Can Use. We want to thank everyone for either listening on the radio, watching us on Facebook Live, and on www.KBOB899.com, which is this radio station's news feed. We really appreciate that. I am your hostess with the mostest, Mr. Molly Wilson.
And I'm Charles Harper. It's Wednesday, a.k.a. Hump Day, July 13th, 2022. And we are live every Wednesday at 1 p.m. right here on KBOB 89.9 FM and simulcast on the News You Can Use Media Networks, powered by World One Development. We are set for an exciting show, you guys. You better call your mom and them and tell them you can call in at 918-856-3873 or post your comments on our Facebook Live feed, World One Development.
So on today's show, the medical report with Dr. Andre Perdue. Today's topics, trauma in the community, and how do we deal with that?
Yep. All on the show, Dr. Nicole Washington, talking about mental and physical health, the difference between the two, and how both are important to our survival.
And of course, our Hump Day hot topics, which are Tulsa Public Schools are in the midst of a shakeup, y'all. Florida grandmother earns a degree. Find out why this is newsworthy. And Netflix has a new action movie coming out in August. Have you seen the trailer? Birthdays and more.
This is News You Can Use right here on KBOB 89.9 FM. So the News You Can Use Media Networks, powered by World One Development. And Damali, I got the signal that we're going to get straight to it. How are thou doing today?
Hot, once again.
Is it? You know what? It is pretty hot out there.
Yes.
You been drinking water?
You see, I got it here.
You look hydrated. Because you know when people
thank God.
out there, if you listening in, if we're ashy, then when I look at you, I know you have not been drinking water.
Or not enough anyway.
Yeah. So drink water, get you some lip gloss. You know what I'm talking about?
Right.
You know it's hot when you walk by.
Right.
Hot. You know it's hot.
Yeah.
So, but it's a good day out there. Even though it's hot, y'all be safe. Y'all don't feel like we say again, stay hydrated. Look out for each other. It's still a beautiful day.
It is. It actually is a beautiful day. It's just hot. As hot as all get out.
Hey, it's summertime, and that's what they do in Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Yeah.
It gets hot and dry.
Real quick, real fast.
Yeah, just like that. But anyway, so your family's doing good. Everybody's doing good around pretty much.
Everybody doing good. Yeah, my daughter's getting ready to celebrate her birthday, so we gearing up for that on Saturday. So yeah, it's just going good.
All right, well, let's go ahead and get it started then.
All right, so where we at? Okay, so News You Can Use is all about shedding some light on the positive happenings in our community. There are many great businesses, programs, and events occurring in our neighborhood, and we felt the community needed to hear about those things, one, so we can support, and two, so we can be informed.
I'm Charles Harper, Executive Director of World One Development, which includes Fitting Back In, EduRec Youth and Family Fund Center, 36th Street North Event Center, and Oklahoma Community Support Coalition. My job, because the world wants to know, is financial stability and infrastructure for all of our community development projects. And I am so excited and I am so elated to be one of the creators of this phenomenal show.
And I'm Damali Wilson. An development project of social World One Development entities. If you would like to advertise your business or organization on this show or any of our other individual platforms, you can inbox me your contact information on Facebook Messenger so we can talk. I'm also happy and elated to be one of the creators of this show.
Man, we about to get right onto it because we got a loaded show on the day. We got to, this is what we got to do first.
Okay, what we got to do?
Because COVID is still out there.
Okay.
We want to first start out by thanking and appreciating our first responders, healthcare professionals, food providers, restaurant workers, and essential workers for their services on the front lines during this time. It's great how organizations and churches in the community are coming together to help those in the community during the coronavirus epidemic.
Absolutely. And before we get started, we made mention of this last week, but we want to reiterate it this week. Today is actually the funeral services for Miss Faye Carter.
Yes.
Unfortunately, we were not able to attend because we had to be here with you lovely people today. remember that family in prayer, and to make sure that we are taking care of community. Another thing is, last week we brought you the breaking news about a community member that had lost their life. And of course, we did not say a name because at that time the family had not been notified,
Right.
or all of the family had not been notified. But by now, if you are one of our regular listeners and you tune into our Facebook page, then you know that Miss Sherry Gamble Smith actually lost her life last Friday or last Wednesday.
Yes.
So it's been a week ago today. And so, we want to always remember the Gamble, Corbett, and Smith families,
Yes.
during this time of loss, as well as community members. I mean, there are a lot of us in community who actually work with Sherry and did a lot of great stuff for community. So we need to be praying for that family. She leaves behind a daughter who is a senior this year,
Yes.
as well as a son who is a ninth grader. And so we need to be praying for those kiddos as well, and the grandbabies, because that's just a very tragic situation. And, we just need to be keeping that family in mind.
Yeah, and a host of siblings and family and friends, which of course we consider ourselves family. That's for sure.
Yes. It's so that was as we this week that District 1 City Council Vanessa Hall Harper was not able to be on the show because it was just the gravity of finding out was just too much. We were almost not going to do the show.
It was a 50-50 shot, but we felt like, man, sometime, you go back and remember sometime during the hardest time at your radio, you know what I mean? A voice, just somebody saying it's going to be all right is how we all get through. So we decided to follow that band, come on out. And I think it was very helpful, based on the responses we got back from so many people.
Absolutely. So just keep that family in your prayer. We'll talk a little bit later in the show about some events that are happening that, communicating. And we'll hit on that as we talk with the doctors today. So we'll just go ahead and move on.
Absolutely. That was good. So what we will do before we get started, we got a lot of people that's been tuning in already on our Facebook Live feed, World One Development. But, we streaming live on about 17 different platforms all over the world. So whether that's Instagram, YouTube, and live, wherever you're tuning in from around the world, we appreciate that. But what we would like to do is do a few shout outs, and then I'm going to come back to you guys, but we got a loaded show today. But quick shout out to Arlisha Walker for tuning in with us. My cousin Brenda, she's in the building. Glenda Lambert, she's watching in. Thank you for tuning in. Miss Lynette Boyle, she's on here. My cousin from Arkansas, man, she heads up a lot of autism movement down in Arkansas. Awesome. Welcome to the show, cousin. Michael Brewer, he's one of our favorites.
Hey, Michael.
We got Larry J. Dye also. And a lot of others. And we got about 150 secret listeners. Now, me and Damali always we appreciate our secret listeners. And one day, y'all going to come right into the station. Y'all going to have a seat. We going to make y'all a plate. And we going to enjoy each other's company.
And they got to sign the wall.
And you're going to have to sign the wall to say, okay, I'll reveal myself. Well, real quick, we got Blue Humpty tuning in from the Motor City down there in Detroit. We got a lot of people in. I'm going to get back to y'all. But speaking about,
before we jump right off into this, also we wanted to send our condolences to Anna Marie Baker.
Yes.
One of our friends from St. Louis who also does construction and community development there in St. Louis. She actually lost her son to gun violence.
Yeah.
Just a terrible tragedy. I mean, this young man was a star athlete, was, very studious, 4.0 GPA. I mean, this guy, was the least likely guy that you would think something like this would happen to. He actually lost his life over 4th of July weekend.
We talked about that last week about St. Louis again. And you just got to know nobody nobody gets by this situation. We kind of talked about that a little bit, but when I say awesome, man, it actually reminds me of my son. If you got a son that makes straight A's in college or went to college, and he had contracts with the city, he was a developer, a builder, and all that. He was on the right side of town. Just rang out, and he ended up being one of the victims. But Marie Baker, man, we love you. We appreciate you. We'll give you a call after the show.
Yeah.
And then we're going to be there for you.
Yeah.
Can we add one more family to the list? The Hausner family out of Sapulpa. Double homicide. Yesterday.
Wow.
All right. Well, everybody listening in, that's why we come together. Prayers for that family as well. Just real quick, we got Jonathan Thompson tuning in. He down there in Missouri. We got KJ. We call him K Jizzle. He said, what up, though? He tuning in from the Twin City. We got Carla Thomas over there at Mid First Bank tuning in with us. We got Leon a lot of big stuff in that, putting you together on that social media world. So we appreciate all you guys for being in. But with that being said, we're going to get to it because you know what? We have a special guest in office that I've been trying to track down for about the last decade. You know what I'm talking about? We've been family.
She been on the run.
We've been friends. You know what I'm talking about? Things start elevating, and I start seeing people riding in helicopters and limousines. And I'm like, am I still part of the family or not? Where do I stand? Y'all know I'm just playing. But we do have what I consider family and friend in the building with us today to help us kind of talk through some of these things that we're going to touch on lightly. None other than the one and only Dr. Nicole Washington is here.
I am well. But y'all don't listen to Charles. Y'all don't listen to him. He's making up stuff. He is making up stuff right out the gate. Just making up stuff.
That's awesome.
It's good to see you. Welcome to the KBOB, where we able to tell our story our way, but we able to engage the community on things that they can happen. That's why we call it news that you can use.
Yes.
Tell the people, because people tuning in from everywhere, just a little bit about yourself, if you don't mind.
All right. I am Dr. Nicole Washington. I am originally from Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
Oh,
yes.
Any Southern University Jaguars out there, y'all my people. But I have been living in Tulsa for the past almost 23 years now.
Oh,
so
wow.
Tulsa
23.
feels a lot like home. This community feels a lot like home.
Right.
And so I am a psychiatrist and I specialize in mental health.
You know, and that is awesome because we have been talking a lot on this show about mental health just because the status of the world nowadays, it just seems like life is just so heavy for people just to make it, you know, nowadays. And especially now that something has hit close to home for our community. And I'll just be the first to say, I feel like I'm not okay. And what inspired, and then actually hearing about Anna Marie Baker's son, you know, her son losing his life, you know, and it feels like, you know, it's just a lot of heaviness in the air, which is part of the conversation that I started having with Dr. Ferdue, and told him that, you know, we need to figure out who our mental health specialists are that look like us.
Right.
And, you know, he, you know, gave us your name. And then, of course, Charles already knew you. So that made it even better. But just to, you know, reach out to folks that look like us. Primarily because in the African-American community, we don't do mental health.
No.
We don't go and see, you know, psychiatrists. And we don't do that. No. Why is that, do you think?
I mean, so I'm going to be the first one to say that medicine has not done anything to earn the trust of Black people. So,
Good point.
Just historically, we as an industry, as a profession, we have not done what we needed to do to get Black people to trust us. So that, I mean, we can go back and we can do a whole show on just all the horrible things that have happened to Black people at the hands of medicine, the institution of medicine. So, you know, that plays a part. But then sometimes we are our own worst enemy. So then, you know, then we have to look at what is our part in it. And so I think for a long time, you know, there was the sentiment of, well, I don't want to talk to some strange white man about my problems. Like, I don't want to go tell this person about my issues.
Absolutely.
But the reality is there's not that many of us, right? So everybody who looks like us can't see us.
Right.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
So that's a problem. You know, there's not enough of us. But even when we do decide to go, sometimes we wait until we're super sick and need to be in the hospital and we are in crisis. And, you know, so there's a lot of layers and pieces going on and why we're not. But I think that's with we have to trust the system again or find ways to trust the system again.
And speaking of Louisiana, Stephen Parnell, he's from Louisiana. He just chimed in. Welcome to the show. We got Franchelle. She was granted the Evans Fentube development contractor, redevelopment, $250 million development. It's a sister. She's tuned in. Welcome to the show.
Franchelle.
Mom is in the building.
Hey, mommy.
I need some bread, Mom. I'm hungry right now.
Stop
but
it.
I'm all right. Because April is on.
Hey,
she's in the building. And Jonathan from Missouri said he's sending love all the way down our way. And I'll say the same thing is growing up in a country, man, if you had to go talk to somebody, number one, they said you was crazy.
You crazy. Yeah.
You know, and I think to me, that has been a big deterrent of going because when people, nobody want to be considered crazy.
Right.
But man, I can tell you this, just trying to raise kids, trying to be married, if you lost a loved one to COVID,
Oh yeah.
all these shootings in schools and all of that, that can add a level of anxiety, depression, trauma. And like Damali said, she feel like she going through.
Yeah.
But what are maybe some of the signs that you need to say, okay, I need to go talk to somebody?
Yeah. So, life is hard. I mean, I think the last 2 years have been extremely hard.
Oh,
we had this pandemic, and then we had to watch Black men getting shot down by the police all over the internet, and we having to see all that. And then we dealing with losses from COVID and financial loss from COVID, and world, all this gun violence that we're dealing with. And so, I mean, the world is heavy.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So even if you have no history of any kind of mental health, anything,
Wow.
everybody has struggled. I don't know anybody who hasn't had at least a moment of, who can I handle this?
Yeah.
So I think one thing that we can do is talk to each other, because what we also do is pretend like we're fine and we don't talk about it. And I think there is comfort in just getting together with folks that you are like mine, get with and say, yeah, girl, I'm struggling. Like, oh, I'm struggling too. Sometimes that's even helpful. Like just to know that you are not the only one. Because when you look around and everybody else seems to look like they doing okay, then you're like, but I'm not all right. But you can't base your everyday stuff to what people put on social media, right?
Sure.
Because
fantasy world,
unless they have their own issues, most of us only put out the best of us
exactly.
on social media, right?
Yeah.
Like we put that one perfect picture out. We don't show you the 30 that didn't work. Or how we were crying before the picture got taken because we were stressed about. We don't show you that.
Yeah.
So I think it's just important to remember that it's okay. Like that's totally fine. If you feel like you are in a place where you are just not great, that's okay. You are probably not the only person who also feels that way. So I think our tendency is to retreat during those times, but we need community more during those times. Now, if you are at a point where it's beyond just, oh, I feel stressed, or I feel, burnout, or I feel a little tired. If you are having extreme energy losses and you feel like I can't make it through my day. Like you get home in the evening, you go to bed and don't come out till the next day.
Yeah.
If you have kids and you are like, y'all figure it out. Y'all eating cereal again for dinner tonight because I don't have the energy to put into parenting. If you're irritable and angry, when you get to the point where you are consistently yelling at your kids just for laughing, when they being kids and you like, quit all that laughing. What y'all doing? When you realize that you are fussing at your children for being happy and being kids,
right?
Or it gets really bad. Like you start feeling hopeless, or you start thinking they'd be better off without me, or I don't need to be here. That's when it's time to go, okay, this is beyond.
Yeah.
Like just I'm a little tired or I'm a little burnt out. That's when it's time to go see somebody.
And I'll say that you get to that point, I need to go see somebody. Where does that start? Meaning I felt that, but since this is not normal in our space, okay, where am I going then? I feel like you mentioned, I feel that. So who do I call? Where do I go? Do I just go Google or go to YouTube? How do I find a connect point to say I can get help with this?
Yeah. I mean, if you are insured, start there, right? Because if you're insured, start there, see who it is, but ask around. Like if you know someone who sees a therapist, or someone, like we'll clear cut hunt somebody down across the store if their hair is looking nice, right? And we want to know who did the hair and what kind of color they use.
There you go.
Your nails look good. Who you go to, all this stuff.
Yeah.
But we don't ask like, hey, who's your doctor? You see somebody? Yeah. Ask around and then look and see what you can get covered, and then get to the internet. Everything's on the internet.
So I think for me, one of the things that I have encountered is, and even when you talk to people in community, is because, like you said, there are not very many folks that look like me. If I have an issue, I don't feel comfortable, and I'm just using myself as an example, just because I don't want to tell other people business. I'm just saying. But anyway, I don't feel comfortable like laying on the couch telling somebody, which I don't know if you lay on the couch or not.
I was about to say, we'll have couches. I'm gonna need y'all to. You're not laying on my couch now. Look. No, we're not doing that.
Right.
I know, just because that's what I be thinking, man, I got to lay on the couch, turn on the lamp. There's no lamp.
We're not doing that. We're not in no couch, no lamp.
So leave your pillow and your blanket at home.
Okay, so misperception. So we're Mythbusters right here, okay?
Yes.
But thinking about, like, I've known a couple of people who have actually went to see, and I don't know if it's first, let's do this. Psychiatrist, psychologist, therapist. Like, what is the difference?
Okay. So a psychiatrist is a medical doctor. I went to medical school. I went through a residency. I could have become a surgeon, obstetrician, pediatrician. I chose to become a psychiatrist, right? So I specialize in mental health. I prescribe medication. I can also do therapy. Like, I can do both of those things.
Okay.
Got it.
Psychologists, typically when we talk about psychologists, we're talking about PhD level therapists, typically.
Okay.
And then you have like counselors and therapists, and then we're talking about licensed clinical social workers or LPCs or licensed marriage family therapists or LADCs, licensed alcohol drug counselors, or all those different categories of people. So that's usually who we're talking about. So in some states, psychologists can prescribe, but in Oklahoma, a psychiatrist is who you're going to see if you are looking for prescriptions or medication.
Okay. And so
let me say this. I'm going to tell you, we got a lot of people listening. I just want to get them because I don't want to forget about them.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
And start sharing this video right now because I feel like this information is vital. And I mean, there's a lot going on right now. But I just want, because we have so many listeners in. Dr. Purdue, what's going on, man? I've seen you. And welcome to the show. But what I want to say is Steve Parnell, who is from Louisiana, my frat, we call him Nature Boy. He said, you might know what I mean. He said, racehorse, and dog D, go Jags. Okay, you might know what that. I thought that was a Southern something. We also got Robbie Nichols. See that she laughed? She know, and somebody else know over here. I ain't gonna say nothing about our other guest in here, Mr. Kamara. I'm gonna leave that alone. He said it. Ernest Lynch, that's my brother. We used to work together at the LE Radio Center back in the day, and I was a social worker at Counselors, and he was the program person. I want to do this real quick. This guy all the way from Detroit. He said, at this point, and I'm gonna direct this to you, Dr. Washington. At this point, a psych should be required before high school graduation to normalize mental health checkups and make sure people entering adulthood somewhat functional. That's kind of loaded.
I mean, I don't know if everybody needs an evaluation. We need to create the space and environment for people to attend to their mental health needs, and we need to make it something that's just routine. Like it just needs to be something that we all know is something we do. Just like you go and you see your pediatrician, you take your child to the pediatrician. I think we put a lot of pressure on kids for sure.
Oh yeah.
We put a lot of pressure. You know, I'm one of those parents. Like, if you need a mental health day, that's just what we're gonna do, right? Like, I'm not gonna get caught up in that. We gotta have perfect attendance to be a good student and to be. Because I also want them to know that when they're an adult, they need to find time to find that space, and there is a balance. So I think we just need to have a culture of mental wellness in our households from day one. Like we are teaching our children coping skills, and we're teaching our kids how to handle things and how to have an opinion. Don't get me started on Black people. The kids can't talk. They can't say nothing.
Let's hold right there. We're gonna stop. We're gonna take a break because when the music plays, that means we have to take a break because somebody got to pay some money. I didn't bring my checkbook today, but I tell you what, we here live with Dr. Nicole Washington, but the man, the myth, the legend, just walking, Dr. Andre Purdue. He's in the building with the medical report. We're going to take a quick break, and we're going to come right back. This is news you can use right here on KBOB 89.9 FM and Simulcast on the News You Can Use networks, powered by World One Development. Molly, just hold on. We'll be right back.
Hey, you guys, did you watch Essence Awards, Essence Festival?
No.
4th of July weekend. Janet Jackson was the headliner.
Yeah, I did see that.
If you missed it, check it out on Hulu.
Will do.
Wow.
Is a reintegration program designed to help those released from prison to fit back into the community as productive, valuable members of society. They help schedule various classes such as anger management, substance abuse, and mental health. They also work with different programs in the community to provide job training. If you or someone you know needs help with resources in career development, employment, or housing, to find out more information, call 918-505. 2121 North Harvard Avenue through Thursday from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m.
The 36th Street Event Center is a full-scale event center where we share the experiences of the community. At the event center, you can rent space for weddings, birthday parties, receptions, concerts, Greek events, quinceañeras, and much more. We also do custom decor, linen, and centerpieces. We're located at 1125 East 36th Street North. To book your next special event, business gathering, or community event, call us at 918-200-9046.
The Juice Radio Show and KBOB 89.9 would like to say thank you to all of our listeners and sponsors who donate to help keep our media program alive, reaching the community. The Juice Radio Network continues to expand as influencers in the community of North Tulsa and beyond, but can't do that without your help. That's why it's important that we as a community continue to support the Juice Radio Show and keep 89.9 on the air. The community not only deserves this service, but needs this service. Let's continue to support the mission and giving a voice to the voiceless. And the radio show. The Juice Radio Show is a nonprofit 501c3 powered by KBOB 89.9 Eden Media Services, operating solely off the gifts, donations, and contributions made by listeners like yourself. All donations made to the Juice Radio Show are tax deductible and can be sent to 1216 North Lansing Avenue, Suite D, Tulsa, Oklahoma 74106.
It's Tulsa, Tulsa. I see you here in Tulsa. I'm in Tulsa chilling.
We appreciate your continued support and thanks for listening to KBOB 89.9 FM.
This is News You Can Use right here on KBOB 89.9 FM and Sonicast on the News You Can Use Media Networks, powered by World One Development. Damali, we are back, and our special guest has to get ready to get out of here.
Yes, it's great information. I got so many more questions, so many more, but we know that you have to go. So
I do have to go, but I promise I'll come back.
Yes,
She'll come back.
Yes.
I'll come back.
If I tell the truth.
If Charles tells the truth, I will come back.
If I tell the truth.
If he tells the truth, I'll come back.
If people want to follow you on social media, want to reach out to you, or want to lay on your couch under the lamp that you don't have.
I don't have a couch.
no yeah.
If you want to sit in a chair.
Okay.
I'm just playing. How can they reach you? Tell them what about your business, social media, any of that.
The easiest way to follow me is at Dr. Nicole Psych, DrNicolepsych on pretty much all social media platforms, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Like that's the easiest way to find me. The website, psych.com, easy enough. And that's the best way to reach us.
Dr. Nicole, I want to get with you to be able to come up with a list that we can provide to community about folks that look like us, because we got to get our people to get their men together. We have so many things and so many challenges in our community. Just need to come. We need to come see you.
And we need all our health together. Mental health is important, but we need to pull our whole selves
exactly. And we're going to talk about that with Dr.
And I also just, so you all know, I am the president of the National Medical Association of Oklahoma.
Come on now.
Girl power.
So I have access to, helping come up with a list of doctors in this area who look like us.
We need to do that seriously because we are not okay.
And now we're going to let you go so that you'll come back.
Yeah.
When you come back, I won't make up any kind of stories. But Dr. Ferdu, thank you so much for inviting her to your show, The Medical Report. She has been so helpful to so many.
Yes.
So Nicole, Dr. Nicole Washington, put some respect on that name.
Okay.
We will post your information on World One Development, what you gave out, so you people be able to follow up, and we'll get with Dr. Ferdu so we can have you back.
Absolutely.
All right. Love you.
Have
a good day.
All right. Yes.
Come on, Washington. Shout out to you, my brother. We're going to have him on one day. We're not even going to say nothing about that. This is a power team right here. When you can't get Michelle and Barack, you get them. Man, Damali.
Man, great information. Great information. And I'm telling you, I have so many more questions and so much more that, community needs to hear.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
But we're going to switch gears.
Switch gears a little bit.
Yes.
Switch gears a little bit.
Dr. Ferdu is actually in the building.
Ladies and gentlemen, the doctor of the day is here.
Dr. Ferdu.
Dr. Ferdu.
How you doing, my friend?
Yes, we are excited that you are here. I mentioned a little bit earlier, you and I had a conversation because of the Sherry Gamble Smith situation. We just know that our community is not okay. That was a hard blow to us. And, we just need to be able to create spaces and forms for us to address what's really happening and what's really going on.
Yeah, I think one of the challenges that we have, particularly as Black folks, is that there's a feeling of vulnerability with actually talking about your health, talking about particularly your mental health. and I think that's even more of an issue for Black men.
Yeah.
There has been so many things that have occurred in the last 6 months, really over the last several years, that have all been gut punches, that we carry those burdens around with us, and we proud with other folks and still of our own folks,
right,
and not feel comfortable with bringing up those issues. So I'm so thankful that Dr. Washington can come.
Yeah.
She is a fantastic physician, has a wonderful bedside manner. I'm hoping that what this is going to lead to is that we can have a battery of African American physicians in a variety of different fields that are at your fingertips.
Yes.
For radio discussion, at the fingertips for television discussion, as well as even maybe having town halls where we talk about a variety of issues. We can talk about mental health issues first and foremost, but we can talk about urological issues, and we can talk about cardiological issues and neurological issues. So there's just so much that we need to do, and we need to change the dynamic of medicine. Medicine does not always have to be that you have to necessarily drive to your doctor's office, sit in their waiting room for 50 minutes while they're with other patients or whatever they may be doing, to get in to see them for 15 minutes.
Sure.
Sometimes being in a changing that platform around can be not only can be therapeutic, but it can be cathartic. And I think a lot of times we need that.
Yeah, let me do some quick shout outs. My wife, she's just tuning in, still healing up from her little accident she had. Welcome to the show. We got Lori Shell McQuarter that's in the building. We got Jackie Emerson in the building. Mr. AJ Johnson, Mr. AJ from the J-Bone Lounge down there in Jacksonville, Arkansas. He watching. AJ, Mr. Energized in the house. Good to see you. We got Carolyn Shelvin watching, tuning in with us. Welcome to the show. Erica Brown is also in the building. They got Marquise Dennis. He has a great event coming up that I'll mention. What he put in here, because we try to keep them in. This is my cousin. Let me see. Do you see that?
I don't.
Molly? He said pretend. We'll come back to it.
Yeah.
Right.
So
that is my wife.
Okay, so I am so excited about knowing Dr. Nicole and knowing that she is available to our community. So one of the things that our District 1 City Council and we out to Dr. Perdue was about the fact that due to this incident in our community, it is kind of like shin, our core. I mean, Sherry was one of those foundation pieces in our community. And so for us at the top level, those who worked with her, who are actually in community, actually making a difference, if we can admit that we're shaken, then maybe the folks beneath, or in community that are watching us and are looking up to us can now say, they are, bold enough to stand up and say, hey, I'm in the struggle because of this. And I can stand up and say that as well, but then to also be able to offer a platform for them to be able to get the help they need. Because it's one thing to say it, but then it's another thing. You're just like, okay, well, I don't know what to do about it.
Correct.
And so that's what we talked about, maybe being able to host some town halls where we offer and have this information readily available so that folks know, first of all, this is societal trauma or community trauma. Can you expound on that and what that means a little bit?
Well, we as people of color, our journey is very different than anyone else's.
Absolutely.
From how we got here.
Yeah.
Essentially, we've been broken down, from a cultural standpoint, from a societal standpoint, from a financial standpoint. And even though there are those of us that may be doing well in some of those respected areas, we as a community are not whole.
Yeah.
And with that comes a certain amount of frustration and anger that others don't understand.
Sure.
Because they don't have a similar journey. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that we should have a vehicle of lashing out.
Sure.
But if we're in a environment where we can acknowledge that and acknowledge the pain associated with that, that's one of the first steps in healing.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that can play a dynamic role in a variety of areas, whether how we handle our finances, it can be how we parent our children, it could be how we conduct ourselves in church, how we can, and so many different things that we can do. It's so easy from a societal standpoint to silo yourself.
Sure.
So
sure.
you silo your family. You know what?
Sure.
I'm going to protect my little fiefdom and what's going on outside these doors.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's their issue. That's not mine. Well, the thing is that it's all of our issue because we all have to assimilate. Every day
Mm-hmm.
you're going to walk into a convenience store. You don't know what that individual next to you
Sure.
has had to deal with.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So if there are means as we as a community can come together and cry, can laugh, can joke, and can process information, regardless of what that information is, it's always a good thing.
We need safe, you
Right,
know,
right.
and that's what, as I'm listening to you, that's what I'm thinking is we need safe spaces where we can, you know, talk about
Mhm.
what is affecting us and, you know, how we deal with it, you know, and places where we can get, and not necessarily answers, but suggestions.
Mhm.
On, you know, hey, well, maybe you can do it this way or think about it in this way, you know, from people that understand our plight and where we've been and where we're trying to go. You know what I mean?
Let me grab some of these listeners in because
Mhm.
they tuning in from all over. I try to make sure we
Yeah.
keep them engaged and keep them on the table. So Brenda said, pretending was my motto. I was a pro, but losing my dad. So losing her dad, which is my uncle. When that happened, that's what made her say, I got to go from pretending to dealing
Sure.
with the situation. Then April said, I also think the lack of proper terms that should be used plays a huge role in getting help. You have to know and understand how to speak to a person with or a person who may have these types of situations going on.
Right.
That is critical because how do you know the signs?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If
Yeah.
you know you're not licensed that, you can run up to somebody, you can have your whole family in danger because you just don't know no signs.
Mhm.
You're not trained, you're not educated in those areas. But maybe what are some of the to me, I always ask people how they doing.
Mhm.
See, smiling at somebody and saying hello is a universal language. A smile is a universal language.
Right.
Yeah,
You
absolutely.
can be from another country.
Right.
You smile, generally people smile back. If you smile a couple of times, they don't smile back.
Call that checking the temperature.
Yeah.
Checking the temperature.
Yeah.
So those are things, you know,
Yeah. Yeah,
when we see
absolutely.
each other, I'm out, you know, we do this when we get, hey, Damala, how
Yeah.
you doing? We
Yeah.
kind of tell, you know, you can just tell.
Yeah.
You know, so those are some good points. So I just want to kind of bring those to the attention. We got other people. We got Jennifer Brown just tuning in. We
Hey,
got
hey, hey.
Christy tuning in. Man, a lot of people are on today. Ernestine Broom, you know, that is Dr. Fredo, I think you hit on a lot of major things.
Yeah.
You know, it's so many layers
Yes.
and levels to it. And I think a lack of understanding hurts. And like you said, Damali, being able to hopefully get a workshop or something going where we can actually bring the community in
Yeah.
and heal somewhat as a community to
Right.
let people know it's okay. I think it's just a great idea.
And I think the other thing that we need to also, with this situation, is deal with the elephant in the room. And the elephant in the room is domestic violence.
Yes.
And I think a lot of times we ignore that. We try to sweep that under the rug, act like it doesn't exist, or act doesn't, it's not affecting, you know, community when it's a huge part of,
Absolutely.
you know, a lot of the tragedies and the things that happen, you know, within community. So we've been talking about on our show quite a bit. We've actually went through these and, you know, had some
Right.
of these conversations, you know, it's just that when it touches close to home,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? When it's in your backyard,
Yep.
then it's just like, it forces you.
Every kind of pain.
And it just forces you to have to deal with the reality of these things exist and what can we do? And I think that's where I'm stuck in the mindset of what can we do as community leaders and as people who have microphones. You know, we sit here with these microphones and we bring information to people, but how can we do something that is going to help heal our community? You know, not just from this blow, but this everything that they're going through that actually created
Let me
situation.
let me add this. Most of the time when you're a male, hopefully in your family, you're an alpha male. You know,
Yeah.
you're the strongest thing that's going
Yeah.
on.
Yeah.
You walking around, you got your chest out a little bit if you have one. You know, whatever
Stop
you
it.
need to do. But being said, these days, 2022, daddy is coming home,
Mhm.
kissing his wife, kissing all the kids,
Mhm.
going in the room, pulling out a pistol and just blowing his brains out.
Yeah.
And haven't said nothing to his brother, cousin, friends, co-workers, nobody.
Yeah.
In a suit.
Yeah.
And a tie. With a Benz outside.
Yeah.
With $5 million in the bank.
Yeah.
Dr. Ferdu, what does that even mean?
Well, there's a vulnerability that we have to get beyond. And you're right. We're hearing more and more of these stories of people who appear to be affluent.
Yeah.
With the idea that, hey, you know what? Looking at you, you're making money. You have this. You have this. You know what? You got the world by its tail. Our journey and our plight is different than anyone else's.
Sure.
So, just the mere fact of making that type of statement means that you really don't know everything. But it's part of my responsibility when I can find a place to be vulnerable.
Sure.
And sometimes the easiest place to be vulnerable is among a lot of people. If other folks are also showing vulnerability, it makes it easier for someone else to say, hey, you know what, I'm hurting too.
Yeah.
You can't help but hurt in the life that we have now. If you look at the way things are politically, there's no feeling that it used to be that, hey, my congressperson represents me. I think ours does.
Yes.
But, we used to be able to say our governor, our senator, our president. We can't say that now.
Right.
They're people that they have a completely different agenda. And sometimes you look at social services and it seems like those social services, which were supposed to protect me, are not necessarily. When we have a unified voice and we know how we feel and how we're hurting, then we can then project that unified voice into those arenas and say, these are the things that we will and will not tolerate.
Right.
And if that means that's votes, that's dollars, that's influence, we have to be willing to do that. But if we're all siloed, we can't do that.
Yeah.
Man, you just said something deep right there. I totally understand. Allie Starr Williams, welcome to the show. Yes. Marquise Dennis, he said it's helpful to be able to have someone that understands the unspoken rules of being Black in America.
Yeah.
And I think that's what Dr. Ferdu just spoke to. Yeah. It was perfect timing.
So go ahead.
I think it's also safe to say that age doesn't matter either, because you see young people going through it. Yeah. Old people that died. Suppose I was talking about earlier. The husband was 60, the wife was 70, the daughter was 50. He killed his wife, killed himself.
Wow.
And you have no clue. You can only begin to suspect dealing with.
Right.
And you just get to thinking, man, what would make a person want to take their family away?
Yeah.
You got to be dealing with some real deep, either family trauma or
dealing with demons.
Unresolved trauma.
And I'll say that we are currently, we're living in a world where if you look at the news, if it's 10 stories, 9 of them are negative.
That's true.
And it's every day, all day. I don't even want to watch the news.
The wormhole.
And I have people that text me that say, you know what, I only watch news you can use. I said, for real? Well, that's good, because we did try to give you some news you can use, but it's just in these kids' face all the time, and it does make it tough. But I tell you what, man, we can go on and on. We're going to post Dr. Washington's information where there are places that you can get help.
Yes.
And it's okay to say help. And we okay with that, and we still family. But I know we got some hot topics next. It was a shakeup over there. You ain't heard about it. You want to hear about it. You better lock this video. We'll be right back on News You Can Use right here on KBOB 89.9 FM. And simulcast on the News You Can Use media networks, powered by World One Development. Hot topics coming up next, y'all. Dr. Ferdu, get some home runs on that, my brother.
The Juice Radio Show and KBOB 89.9 would like to say thank you to all of our listeners and sponsors who donate to help keep our media program alive. Reaching the community, the Juice Radio Network continues to expand as influencers in the community of Tulsa and beyond, but can't do that without your help. That's why it's important that we as a community continue to support the Juice Radio Show and keep 89.9 on the air. The community not only deserves this service, but needs this service. Let's Continue to support the mission and giving a voice to the voiceless and donate to the Juice Radio Show. The Juice Radio Show is a nonprofit 501c3 powered by KBOB 89.9 and Eden Media Services, operating solely off the gifts, donations, and contributions made by listeners like yourself. All donations made to the Juice Radio Show are tax deductible and can be sent to 1216 North Lansing Avenue, Suite D, Tulsa, Oklahoma 74106.
It's Tulsa, I see you here in Tulsa. I'm in Tulsa chilling.
We appreciate your continued support and thanks for listening to KBOB 89.9 FM.
The 36th Street North Event Center is a full-scale event center where we share the experiences of the community. At the event center, you can rent space for weddings, birthday parties, concerts, Greek events, quinceañeras, and much more. We also do custom decor, linen, and centerpieces. We're located at 1125 East 36th Street North. To book your next special event, business gathering, or community event, call us at 918-200-9046.
Fitting Back In is a reintegration program designed to help those released from prison to fit back into the community as productive, valuable members of society. They help schedule various classes such as anger management, substance abuse, and mental health. They also work with different programs in the community to provide job training. If you or someone you know needs help with resources in career development, employment, or housing, to find out more information, call 918-592-3500 or stop by 2121 North Harvard Avenue, Monday through Thursday from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m.
Ladies and gentlemen, the all-new KBOB 89.9 FM, Black on Black. Yo.
And now it's time for the Hump Day Hot Topics with Charles and Damali.
Hey, guess what day it is? Hump Day! Hump Day! It's Hump Day! Hey, Mike.
It's the Hump Day Hot Topics on News You Can Use.
Mike.
Man, that's still my favorite drop,
Okay,
man.
right?
JB is a piece of work. Shout out to him for doing that a long
Exactly.
time ago. And he giving us some music, so we get into this thing.
Hot topics.
I heard some, Damali. What did you hear?
So the first thing we're going to talk about today is Tulsa Public Schools is in the middle of a shakeup.
Shake up or shake down?
Hey, you can call it either one. It's
No,
going
don't
up
say
or
shake
down.
down. No, you shake me up. Don't shake me down.
Right.
Shake me. No, I'm just
Are you
saying.
walking in or are you walking out?
Right.
It's a difference.
Listen, some are calling for the resignation of Superintendent Deborah Gist.
Man, I know.
You know, if you have not heard, you know, our Governor Stitt is,
Right.
you know, he's wanting to do a investigation into allegations that money is missing. And so they wanted to do an audit, you know, and Deborah Gist is like, no, because it's going to cost us money, you know, the taxpayers here in Tulsa. And he's like, I don't care. So they're going back and forth. Like, they're like this.
Is Deborah running for governor?
No, you're talking about Joy Hoffman.
Yeah, it's a whole different person.
Yeah.
Okay,
whole different
I'm just
person.
making sure we're not confused here.
Yeah, no.
Deborah Grist, the one that got the little line and the little drop
She's
down
cute.
right there.
Yeah,
She's
very
really
low,
cute.
yeah.
I'm not saying that over there because they're looking for me. But anyway, the shake-up. You said it's a shake-up.
Yeah.
That is because it's like a $2 million, a
Yeah.
little bit over $2 million line item, and
Right.
it just disappeared.
That's
Yeah.
a lot of money.
Yeah, so we're, you know, so this is what I will have to
Okay.
say about this. Let's pray for our kids because ultimately our babies
they're
are
gonna
the
be the ones
ones
to
who suffer.
Right.
You know, while we're catfighting and going back and forth and whatever we're doing, our babies are not being educated.
I heard they don't even got money to pay for the CNG gas. They run the buses and all kind of important expenses for
Right.
the school year coming up and everything.
Yeah, it's a lot of crazy. I mean, like board members are walking off.
It's a hen height. Is it a hen pecking in the rooster house? Or how do you say that?
I don't know that.
I don't know. I'm not
Yeah.
gonna say nothing about no cat fight, no rooster and crow and chickens, and none of that. I'm just trying to get the information because I know this is hype. Because when I see Deborah Gist get on and she says, well, you know, if the governor want to talk, he need to look into his own books.
Yeah.
And it's on the news.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I'm
Then
like,
she's
man.
making posts on social
She put
media.
him out there,
And
and it's a lot of people he's up for re-election or whatever. And what happens is all the news is coming about all the people that he's did dirty deeds for.
And see, then with us in our community, we're like, y'all didn't give us none of the ARPA money, so we can't.
Right.
We didn't even get none. So whatever happened,
Yeah.
you can't blame us for it. But
Yeah.
anyway,
So,
This is
you
a hot
know,
topic.
we just need to pray for, because when you have a situation, actual school board members who are actually just walking out, they're just like, I don't even want to have anything to do with this. I don't want to hear anything about it. And they're having private conversations or having conversations with local media talking about what's happening. Then this is a conundrum. You know what I mean? This is a mess.
Apparently, one of the ladies who walked out, though, has been requesting information for some 3 years now.
Right.
Absolutely. That's what it's saying.
And it hasn't been on the table.
Yeah. And so it's just this is a time where we need to be focusing on and thinking about our kids, because our kids ultimately, like I said, are the ones who suffer. So, prayers for TPS.
And don't you and JB, because I just been skating around this whole topic. I'm just skating. You know how people skate? They're asking questions, Dr. Fredo, I'm just skating. But anyway,
my mother, she was in a teacher for TPS for 1 year, and she retired right after that. But she said the system was just already so stressed as it is.
I know a lot of school teachers, and I feel sorry for those.
So many schools in Tulsa public schools just stressed to the max. Yeah. So for this kind of stuff to be coming out, it just makes it even worse.
What we're going to try to do is we'll get somebody on the show. Yeah. Because our job is to bring you the facts.
Right.
Make sure you are informed. Yeah. So we want to be very informative. So we're going to get somebody to come in here to sort through this for us, because our kids are our future, and if it hurts them, it hurts us. And we got to get it right.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's exactly right.
What
all right, next hot topic. So there's a Florida grandmother who just earned her degree.
What?
Now, I know you're saying, okay, there's a lot of grandmothers who earn their degree. So what's the big deal? Well, not all of them are the oldest Black woman to graduate from college in the United States.
What?
This lady was 96 years old.
Wow. Almost a century old.
So now for me, when I read this story, we don't have no excuse. There is no excuse. If at 96 you can graduate from college with a 4.0 G and fighting cancer.
Oh, do her thing.
Yes.
Talking about overcoming some adversity.
All the way across the stage.
Right.
I know. You know what I was thinking? Said hot topic. I'm like, grandma 5 now.
Yeah.
So I didn't know. But this is a grandma.
96.
This is a real
Congratulations.
Congratulations. Her name is Violet Edwards. And she's over in Florida, South Florida. And so congratulations to her, because I just thought that was so inspiring to know, so she actually had her last cancer treatment and then she graduated.
Man.
Wow. Isn't that awesome?
That is awesome.
Molly, did you hear the story about the 2 kids that were shooting at the police for 30 minutes?
No.
A 12 and a 14-year-old. You haven't heard about that?
No, this one.
You got to look that story up. It's a hot topic.
Yeah.
It is. Send us
30 minutes.
Oh my God.
They were in a shootout with the police, a 14-year-old and a 12-year-old. I'm not going to go into details, but it was a rough situation.
Yeah, I'll have to look that up. That's too much. That's too much. Okay, so on a lighter note, how about this? Have you guys seen the Day Shift trailer? Do you even know what it is?
Day Shift trailer.
JB actually showed us this. So it is a new movie that's coming out on Netflix, and it's actually coming out on August the 12th. But it is with Snoop Dogg and Jamie Foxx.
Is it a movie or a series?
Is it a series? I thought it was a movie. It's a film.
It's a Netflix series.
It's a film. I think
it's a film.
You know they doing movies now on network.
That's true. That is true.
I need stock in Netflix. Do any of y'all got stock with Netflix?
Right. I missed it too.
Man.
Yes. But I saw the trailer. It looks like it's gonna be hilarious. But anyway, they're vampire slayers.
Yeah, they time.
So, Snoop Dogg and Jamie Foxx, vampire slayers. I'm like, what is going on? Wow. So August 12th, you guys want to watch. If you don't have Netflix, you might want to get it.
Mark
so you can see this, because I'm telling you, it's action packed.
Intense.
In my mind, I see Snoop Dogg getting in front of the vampire and saying, puff, puff, pass.
He was like,
it's over.
Yeah, that's how you get a vampire, dog.
Right there. Snoop Dogg going to get a vampire? I got to see it. Now, I saw the trailer.
Yes.
If you have not seen the trailer,
it's really good.
Go catch
it's
it
on
Netflix.
YouTube.
On YouTube.
Yes.
I can't wait to see the show.
Google Day Shift trailer, official trailer.
Snoop Dogg and Jamie Foxx.
Yes, it's going to make you want to watch it.
Yes. Okay. So Charles sent me this. This was not really on our hot topics, but I think it's worth mentioning.
Yes.
Boston has just become the first major city to offer a formal apology for its role in the transatlantic slavery.
Man.
Can you believe that?
I can't.
I am just like floored. So the city council has prepared a resolution that passed unanimously on Wednesday that condemns the unique dastardness of slavery and the legacy of systematic white supremacy and racism that's reflected in ongoing racial inequalities in housing, education, income, and more. So this is over in Boston. So We posted it on our social media, but you guys need to go and check this out. I thought this was amazing. Thought that, if we continue. So this is like the second. So we went to Evanston. They actually did something with reparations and, and talked about the harm. And now here we are in Boston talking about the harm. So, we need to be, this is a trend that we following.
I met the team at Howard University in Washington that were pushing that.
Right.
So when I saw it, I'm like, man, I'm the sisters and stuff pushing. Yeah. Dr. Ferdinand, when you hear something like that, how does that resonate with you?
It gives me hope. I would love for us to get to the next step, which is reparations, right? Because it's I think it's an easy thing to do is to apologize for arguably the world's greatest atrocity,
right?
But what are you going to do about it on the back end?
Yes,
because we all know it was wrong. Yeah, but where do the reparations come in?
Exactly.
Or where do certain opportunities come in? Maybe it's a matter of we can't necessarily give you 40 acres and a mule, but we can pay for college.
Yeah,
anybody who wants to go to college, or we can do X, Y, and
medical,
Z.
Housing.
Just on the 4th of July. It was significant because that celebrated the United States, as the United States for 276 years.
Right.
But then it also showed that slavery was that long.
Mm-hmm.
So that just let you know, you can put it in perspective. That's how long slavery was
544 years.
Yes.
Combined.
So.
Right. So in the middle of that is slavery was half of that.
Mm-hmm.
So crazy. Building America.
Yeah, building America. So, upcoming events. World One Development is looking for volunteers to help serve the community. If you would like to volunteer or you need community service hours, you can give us a call at 918-804. Or you can email me at damali.wilson1development.com, or you can inbox us on Facebook Messenger at World One Development.
Let me slide something in right there real quick. Marquise Dennis, he's been rocking with us all show. He's a very, very important thing coming up that's going to help out with the brothers.
Okay.
Is fatherhood. What was that? It scared me. Did he run by? Is he in the radio station? So it's a Birthright Living Legacy, OCCY, State of Oklahoma, to help us all know what fathers bring to parenting.
Awesome.
This is an online conference with him, Dennis, and Dr. Warren Farrell. You know him, author of the Boy Crisis.
Okay.
So that's going to be coming up. So follow him. We're going to post it on our World One Development Facebook page. Y'all share that all around. It's going to be
and
awesome.
Marquise, thank you for letting us know that.
Yes,
because
sir.
We need to get this information out. We got to strengthen our dads. We have got to strengthen them and build them up. That's exactly right. Okay, don't forget, if you're looking for to have an event, the 36th Street North Event Center has dates available. You can give us a call at 99046 to reserve your spot.
Yes.
Fitting Back In is still taking registrations for justice-involved individuals, past or present, right here in Tulsa County for job training programs that will yield living wage jobs. Classes have already started, but it's not too late to sign up. You can contact Miss Christy Williams. That's at Christy Williams at fittingbackintulsa.org, or you can call her at 918-592-3500 to sign up. We are here to help justice-involved individuals thrive. Prayer Time Grief Counseling, Pastors Chloe and Doug Allen, happens every Sunday at 7 o'clock p.m. You can give them a call at 717-275-8940, and don't forget to put in the code 615-876. You don't have to suffer in silence when help is available. Oasis Fresh Market is open Monday through. No, I did not change the days.
Go past it. I'll get you.
Okay, we'll get Oasis here in a minute. They have summer hours. Okay, so today, important information. This is the thing where Charles says, get out your pen and pad, right?
Get it out and share the video if you don't want to get out a pen and share it right now.
Okay, so today, the Union Mama Hawks have a pop-up trunk sale fundraiser at Chipotle on 71st and Highway 169 from 5 o'clock p.m. until 9 o'clock p.m. They will be selling Union Red Hawk football tanks, shirts, and long-sleeve hoodies, with 20% of all the sales being donated to Sherry Gamble Smith's children who were in athletics at Union. Her daughter is a senior, as I said earlier in the show. She's playing volleyball, and her son is a 9th grader, and he plays football.
First year in high school football. It's going to be good for him.
Right. And let's do this for the people, because I know everybody don't know. It used to be the Union Redskins.
Yes.
That's what most people there, but they now the Union
Mama Hawks.
No, not the Mama Hawks. The
River
Union
Hawks.
Hawks.
River Hawks.
River Hawks. Riverhawks.
Riverhawks.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So the children has also been set up. So that's one thing you can do. You can go buy Chipotle. You can purchase some union gear. So there, even if you don't want it, purchase it anyway because it's for a good cause. Okay. And then the second thing is that a children's fund has been set up, and you can donate at paypal.com/PayPalMe/honoring Sherry. That is for a fundraiser for the children as well. And so you can do one of those two things. Okay.
That address again?
We'll put it on the World One
it is on our World One
post it.
Development page, and so you guys can go and see it. And then we also want to make mention that the viewing for Sherry Gamble Smith will be held tomorrow at Bigelow Funeral Home, which is located at 1414 North Norfolk Avenue from 1 o'clock p.m. You can take flowers, you can send flowers. The family is actually asking that you make a donation to the children's fund in lieu of flowers. But if you would like to, send any gifts, you can direct those to the Bigelow Funeral Home.
And that's good because anybody that has kids in high school, very, very expensive, especially if they're in sports.
Exactly. I was going to say that. Yeah. Yeah. And then the celebration of life and candlelight vigil is going to be held tomorrow, which is July 14th at 7:30 Black Wall Street. Bring your lawn chairs. We're going to be accepting gifts of condolences on behalf of the family. Just here to try to help family deal with this crazy, tragic loss, as well as community.
Right.
Just like Dr. Nicole just said, we need to try to deal with this together.
Right.
This all threw us all by, took us all by surprise, and so we just need a space, and this will be a space that we're offering. People can try to start to heal, and then Dr. Perdue and myself and some others are going to be working with our District 1 City Councilor to be able to do some town halls where we offer additional spaces for us to try to heal. And then the funeral services for Sherry Gamble Smith will be held on July 15th, which is Friday, at 11 a.m. at Friendship Church.
It's also going to be live streamed, so we'll put that on our social media as well so that you can share that.
And then PWEN, which stands for Women Empowerment Network. They're going to be having a small business pop-up and scholarship fundraiser on July 16th from 10 o'clock a.m. until 2 o'clock p.m. To donate, you can go to mypwen.org/donate-today. And you can also get information about that organization. I think they're trying to raise $100,000, and that's going to be used for scholarships and purchasing things for students.
Right.
So very great cause.
Back to Oasis, their summer hours it's temporary. It's going to be Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. And then on Saturday and Sunday, 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. That's Oasis Fresh Market's summer hours.
Got it. All right. Birthdays. Today, Elgin, the line dance, it's his birthday.
Hold on. Dr. Fred, you know how to line dance? I seen you do something. Why you gonna
put you on the spot?
Yeah, really. You need to have that conversation with my wife.
Jody,
I think she can tell you if I line dance.
Jody, I seen something. I need you to verify.
Because I know she can line dance.
All right, July 16th, my middle daughter, Miss Lakeisha Johnson, is celebrating her 33rd birthday. Can you believe it? I can't even believe that.
Trey.
Okay. And Derek Morton, your friend, it's going to be his birthday as well. July 17th, Brittany Burkhalter. She's our friend from over at Quick. She had a dance team at one point. Was over at Edgerect, so as well as Kelvin Bonner over at Youth at Heart.
Yeah. Everybody.
You forgot somebody. Ooh, my daughter, Zaria.
Yeah.
That's right.
She turned 21 on 11.
Wow.
Oh,
Second I was
21.
Yeah.
Oh man, y'all remember what y'all was doing when y'all was 21?
I'm not gonna sit over the air.
I was being very cruel. I ain't gonna lie.
No, you know what? To be honest, at 21, I was trying to get my life together.
Yeah.
That was a time I was like, man, I got to get this thing together before I don't be here.
All right, don't forget.
Let me do this real quick. Loshay will be 17 on the 19th, July 19th. That's my cousin Brenda. That's my cousin.
All right, happy birthday, Loshay.
Yep.
All right.
Put a hole in the Molly's pool for real.
You better stop. All right, don't forget, you can purchase News You Can Use gear and continue the conversation on our podcast at newsyoucanuse.tv. You can also Friday from 10 o'clock a.m. until 12 o'clock p.m. Mr. Harper's Neighborhood.
Yes, that's
shut
the best
up.
show. If you don't know.
From noon to 2 o'clock p.m. Then we have the Super Mix with DJ.
That's the show you want to listen to.
That's the one. That's the one.
This battle
I give
going
you 4
on.
hours. They only give you 2.
We also have the J-Bone Lounge from 6 o'clock p.m. until 10 o'clock p.m. along with Rue's Love Lounge, which happens at 10 p.m. to 2 o'clock a.m.
This is Rue's Love Lounge.
Look, and we also have a couple of birthdays. Our good friend Shell, her daughter Zoe will be 16 tomorrow.
What?
All right.
Yes.
July 14th. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. Yes. So don't forget, you can hit us up on any of our social media platforms. That's World One Development, 36th Street North Event Center, EduRec Youth and Family Fun Center, and Fitting Back In.
Absolutely. Michael Brewer said, I just watched the Day Shift trailer. It looks good. He said he can't wait to see Snoop Dogg grab the vampire.
Right?
Dr. Ferdu,
I told y'all.
if you're just not tuning in for whatever reason, we do the medical report the second Wednesday of every month. So Dr. Ferdu, he come in here live, and we appreciate his time because we know he has a job.
Yes.
But he pushes pause to come out to show the community some love. And I know this helped many, many people. Keep sending us your questions. We'll keep getting that information to him, and we'll kind of structure our show around those concerns that you have. Dr. Ferdu, any final thoughts for the community?
Well, it was a fantastic day. I'm so blessed and thankful that Dr. Washington can be here. A little COVID update. The numbers are starting to go up a little bit.
Oh, no.
No way!
This particular strain appears to be less virulent than the others, but wear your mask, social distance, try to the initial gatherings, or if you're going to do that, just be smart.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Thank you,
Appreciate that, Doc. Okay, well, we appreciate everybody that tuned in with us today. It's been a great show. Great job, JB Smooth.
Yes.
Again, nothing but love to Dr. Did you give it to us? And shout out to her husband, Washington. That's Molly. Great job.
Yes.
Stay tuned for the rest of the day. Patrick Dearworth, my first cousin, July 19th. Is going to be a birthday. She said, you think you're going to be 40. I think he's going to be 40-ish. Let's say 40-ish. That's my cousin, my first cousin. Love him. I just saw him at the reunion down there in Memphis.
Yes.
But we got to get ready to get out of here. Love you guys. But remember this. Please consider donating to Eden Media Services to help our community radio continue to stay on the air. You can send your donation made payable to Eden Media Services 21216 North Lansing Avenue, Suite D. We done moved on up, y'all. Tulsa, Oklahoma, 74106. Until next time, love you guys. I'm Charles Harper.
And I'm Damali Wilson.
And we live every Wednesday at 2 p.m., so make sure you tune in.
Later, y'all.
Peace.
Hey. And I'm JB, the guy behind the scenes. If you would like to promote or advertise your business on the show, inbox us at Facebook at World One Development. This has been World One Development's News You Can Use, hosted by Charles and Damali. The views, thoughts, and opinions expressed on this program belong solely to the hosts and their guests, and not necessarily to this station, organization, committee, or other group or individuals associated with KBOB 89.9 FM. Thank you. Y'all have a good day. We'll see y'all next week.